right here on HSTV, the 24th of August 2022. My name is James Crazy, but here I'm called JK. I'm not doing this alone. I have my beautiful Stephanie Ejojinam Anyana with me. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning. I like what you're wearing.
I also like the touch, the colors, the blend.
Oh my. I like the pockets, the chain.
We're making it happen.
Yeah.
I hope your night was good.
Yeah, it was. I just keep feeling cold.
The weather, the rains, and
yeah, it's almost as I guess you turn into a fridge already.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting. We're experiencing rains, drops of rains in the month of August. Yeah, not the usual. Yeah. So we're grateful to God.
Yeah, it's another morning. Grateful to the old man out there.
Yeah.
For giving us another opportunity to live and interact with viewers. As always, and this is Healthy Morning Live on HSTV, brought to you by Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. Always listening, always understanding. If you're missing Diego, don't worry, you'll be joining us soon. So it's going to be James and I taking over at all times.
Yeah.
When the cat is not around the mouse.
Yeah, make you happy.
Yeah, everywhere.
So good morning to him.
Good morning to you. Good morning to your family. We miss you. We didn't want to say, but we miss you.
We miss you.
It's obvious. We miss you.
Great. So I just want to remind our viewers that we're streaming live on our YouTube channel. We have HSTV GH Live. Just go there, click on the link, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're here to give you great content. When Healthy Morning is on, it's back to back. So you shouldn't miss it out.
Yeah, great
and
content,
also,
information, education, entertainment.
Exactly.
Of course, we'll be spicing with some good music in between to help you have a cool Wednesday morning.
That's the one.
Yeah, and then we're going to come your way with the usual. Sweeter Julie will get into the kitchen with her so that you learn a thing or two from Sweeter Julie, and then we'll come back to discuss matters arising. Many stories have emanated, and we'll talk about how the nurses picketed yesterday at the Ministry of Finance to lay their grievances, of course, financial constraints that they are going through, and especially how come some hospitals are not employing them despite government getting them their finance clearance. And we'll also come back and talk about WASI is still in session.
Yeah,
and they started on the 1st of August with the practicals, the visual assets, like the science have all started, and I think they've gotten into the writing aspect. And some time ago, we saw how some WASI students were saying that they get into the exam hall with some UV light pens to see some writings and all of that. And in recent times, WAEC has recorded a lot of examination more practices, and it looks like the head of the Public Affairs Council, Madam Agnes Kujo, has come out to say that WAEC is introducing additional padlocks.
Padlocks.
To actually, curtail the exams more practices that have been recorded so far. So we'll get into that story. And then the president is still speaking for the Upper West region. His 2-day tour, he's been talking about this, talking about that. And yesterday he was saying that the fact that we are going through financial crisis, it doesn't mean that NDC should celebrate yet. According to him, we're still going through financial crisis. In 2015 and then in 2020. So if we are going through same now, for him, he still believes that he's definitely going to pass on the mandate to an NPP official to continue his legacy.
Let's see what happens. That's his view, and we have, the opposite.
They kept telling me that, but especially when elections is just around the corner. 2 years is really
very close.
Yeah. It will just happen in a minute of an eye. And we are going to see them saying a lot of things. And I can't imagine the president telling us that we were still in economic crisis and then he won 2015 and then he won 2020. So he's definitely, of course, he's not running again. So definitely he's going to pass on to another NPP candidate.
But
to lead.
The NDC is also coming strong. Looking at the situations around. They're already campaigning. Helping in developmental projects. We saw Mahama. With the mocks thing he contributed to. Chalezo.
He even contributed to a PT constituency about some 100 bags of rice and all of that. Just recently. And then we are seeing some changes in their organogram. So how Otokuno is now going for the general secretary, and then Johnson Nkita is now going for the chairperson of the NDC. So we'll see how
what happens. So these and many other stories we'll be reading out to you and the matters arising. I know you're not going to change your TV station. Let it be here because we're here to inform you, educate you, and also entertain you. Good morning to our producer Shadrach Abe. You're doing super amazing. We really appreciate your effort. To all the camera personnel, those doing sound, everybody on the production team, we really appreciate your support.
Tell us what you have on your segment today.
Okay, so Healthtainment, we're going to talk about women in blogging, using technology. It's quite interesting when we see, women rise to do something, and technology has taken over Ghana now. So whatever you're doing, you need to be smart when it comes to IT, tech, and all that. So we'll be talking to two beautiful ladies who, you know, they've benefited from, you know, this summit. It's going to happen. That's on Saturday. So we'll be talking to two beautiful ladies, you know, to share more light with regards to the whole program.
Okay, and stay alive. I'm also going to sit and talk with a gynecologist. He's been in the house. He's a known face. He's been here for quite some time. And then today we're going to talk about contraception education. Yes, I'm so much interested because I really want him to clear the air and psych our minds, because a lot of people think that once you're a woman and then you have your life planned and you want to avoid unplanned pregnancies, you're doing something wrong. Because you're taking contraceptives and it means maybe you're killing the baby. Growing up, I thought when you take contraceptives, it was similar to abortion. That's what I
I know, right?
I realize that that's not the case, but I want him to psych our minds if it's even the right thing to do. Should we always think that babies are a gift from God, so give birth as many as you want when you don't have your life planned? Because once an unplanned pregnancy comes in, your education gets affected. Plan is stifled. Your career, you know,
everything literally. Your life takes a turn. And even the child that comes in, if you're not well prepared to welcome that child, it goes a long way to affect the child.
Because pregnancy is like 9 months, but after birth, 3 months, you're still in bed. So it's like a year, and you're still breastfeeding. You can't really go out. So like to me, when you give birth, 2 years of your life is like you really want to
put things in place.
Exactly. So you don't really have like unexpected pregnancies. I don't know how you can say this pregnancy is unexpected, because that's a beautiful baby God is giving you. So don't let it come in and then now want to kill it. You can plan your life and all of that. So we want to learn about contraceptive education. So much interested, and of course we'll activate the phone line so you viewers out there can call us and ask us whatever questions that you want to ask, or you can also join our WhatsApp platforms that you have the numbers at the left hand side of your screens. And then Precious Azuma is also on standby to give you the latest in the world of sports. That's a sports goddess. So it's going to be packed. The Wednesday edition is going to be fun.
Beautiful,
like
mate.
Nobody's business.
Nice one. So I think we have Switch Ajele standing by, you know, to give us something, 1 or 2 tips. So quickly, let's go check it out. When we come back, we zoom straight into Matters Horizon. Stay tuned.
Hello, sweet team. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele, and I am back with another recipe. We're making butter. Yes, we're making butter at home today. As I said, whipping cream is on sale, so I'm making all the recipes that it calls for. Some of us, when we get to Ghana, butter is a problem, and I remember plantain margarine, and that's what we'll be making today. Well, something similar. So in a bowl, add in your whipping or heavy or double cream. Okay, ensure that it is nice and cold, and then using a hand mixer, we're going to whip this until we get our butter. You can also go ahead and use your stand mixer. If you don't have any of these, you can use a whisk. But trust me, it'll take a while and you may end up with some muscles, but that is okay. While whipping, you will see your cream beginning to change color and thicken up. We will continue to whip until our cream begins to change color from white to cream and then yellow, just like this. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and clean the sides of the bowl, and if you want this to be salted butter, you can go ahead and add some salt at this point, just when it's beginning to change color, and we'll continue to whip it until the buttermilk separates from the butter itself, and you can see it beginning to happen right there. Now, if you're in Ghana and wondering where you can find heavy cream most of the supermarkets in the mall carry it. Otherwise, I do not know any other way you can make butter at home. Trust me, this is way better than a lot of the stuff they have out there on the market. As you can see, we have our butter and we also have our buttermilk. Now remember, if you want to make this unsalted, skip the salt completely. Now using my spatula, I will gather up my butter to one side and then I'll roll it into a ball. If you like, you can use a cheesecloth to separate this, but I like to put this together with my fingers. I love the way it feels and I do not want any of it to go to waste by sticking to a cheesecloth or flour sack cloth. At this point, you can shape it into a brick or a circle, whichever way you like, a log. Hey, be my guest. And just like that, we have a whole brick of butter. This is about 1 pound. Okay, to store this, once you get it out of your buttermilk, you want to use a paper towel to dab any excess buttermilk that is on it, or you can rinse it with some water. I really don't mind because I use this right away, so I don't worry about it becoming rancid, meaning it'll taste like oil going bad. Wrap it with a wax paper, and this should last in your refrigerator for about 6 months as long as it is well done. And with our buttermilk, just pour it into your preferred container and store it in your refrigerator for about a week. And there you have it. Our butter is ready. Spread it over your bread and enjoy. We'll be making some butter cookies. We have so many recipes that we'll be making out of our homemade butter because, hey, I bought so much heavy cream. Now take part of your butter, place it in a bowl using your hand mixer. Whip it until it is light and fluffy, and there you have your homemade whipped butter. Do you see how nice, smooth, and melts to my finger it is? Transfer it into your choice of airtight container. Place it in your refrigerator, and this should last you for about 3 to 6 months. Okay, and that is it. Go ahead and enjoy it over bread, crackers, toast, you name it, it goes well with it. Since whipped butter can be on a hard side to use, bring it out of your refrigerator, allow it to rest a bit, or bring it to room temperature and enjoy with some grapes and crackers. Yes, your sweetie teens Yano in my kitchen today. This butter also melts beautifully to make your breakfast eggs. So you see, everything is possible with your homemade butter. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and are inspired to try the recipe. If you do, share some pictures with me on Instagram and I will gladly post them on my story. And as you can see, Sweetie Tintins is going on here. I'm enjoying some with crackers and grapes. You can substitute the butter for cheese if you wish. Until I see you in the next video, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of God and family is life's greatest blessing. And guys, ke unamini uchemi sweet mahabotu. Bye y'all.
My name is Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Lashibe Funeral Homes. Lashibe Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Lashibe Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all times, to emphasize the importance of treating the body of the deceased with the utmost respect and dignity. Lashibe Funeral Homes that have to do with funerals. Lashibe Funeral Homes will recover the body from wherever the death occurred, embalm the body using the most modern techniques. We will keep the body or store the body in our state-of-the-art refrigeration system for as long as the family desires. Nearer the time of the funeral, we will prepare and dress the body up for the funeral. We provide transportation and hearses to convey the body from one place to the other as the family may. We also provide on our premises the services of an interdenominational chapel where the services can be conducted. We also have the only modern, not only Ghana, but also Côte d'Ivoire. We also have a cemetery, one of the only 2 privately managed cemeteries in Accra at the moment. All it takes, literally, is one telephone call and perhaps 2 visits to our premises for everything to do with the funeral to be arranged for. There are several funeral plans on the market. Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its own and is significantly different, because what the Prudential Dignity Plan ensures up. Once you are insured, your services are covered. It doesn't matter how long before the death occurs.
Dignity Farewell Plan from Prudential Life Insurance, in partnership with Lashibe Funeral Homes, is providing families with over a decade of experience and peace of mind when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved ones.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money? Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pru Wealth plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the sum assured, which is 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100%. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pru Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
This is HSC, grateful for your time. Training. Are you creative? Are you willing to learn? Are you interested in the media? Well, HSTV has an opportunity for you. Get training in camera handling, video editing, motion graphics, program presenting, MCR, sound engineering, news reporting, and casting.
In Accra to speak to some commercial drivers.
Why don't you call these numbers 054 68 33724 or 0240 300 507.
Awusia bedawase se okasa mfonyine egusua eda HSTV ebiana wadamfu bi onua bi ananse busuani bi abo amane se nansen enya de onya HSTV o de kasa mfonyine eso obu onu mu a onya mfonyine eba nanso kasa bi a emba se we HSTV no atukwa ye bese se obesa scanne u TV no foforo ananse obesa scanne u decoder no foforo ene be mu akwanya ama wonsa saka HSTV bio de ndumadi ahodo na wonso wanya akwanya atumi ahwe bi enti bia na onua bi pese o sa scan TV no fofora e be se obeya aso na watie kwan a obefa so be sa scan TV no anase decoder no efoforo ye di kan so pese o scan TV no fofora obefa o remote na wa remote no so wamia menu e o remote no so e di amaye atwode bebre e na be ba o kasa mfonyi no eso hwehwe bia ya tro se channels emaye nimia okay e o remote no eso e dia tro foforo e be sa ba o kasa mfonyi no eso ahwehwe bia ya tro se auto scan nimia okay o remote no so emaye we be scan ni stations ahodo a e wo kasa mfonyi no so e di amount ejina wo TV no so bitimi disima be aduonu enko aduasa eso stations ahodo e ba kasa mfonyi no eso bomodia na hwe HSTV onsa be kan na ifwa hwe ndwumadi ahodo a akanina ebia na wo de no enye TV nemum odi coda e na apese osaska na fofo ntitiu eni omom use Go TV obobo modin afa remote no na wamia menu e o remote no so e di amame atwode bebre e be ba okasa mfonyi no anim wadaroma hwehwe bia atworo se advanced option nimia okay e o remote no so emame e di atwode foforo e be ba okasa mfonyi no anim hwehwe bia ya atworo se installation nimia okay e o remote no so emame e di atwode foforo e be sign aba hwehwe bia ya atworo se auto scan nimia okay e o remote no so emame we be ma wonsa ka eye kasa mfonyi na stations ahodo a ewo omayimu enina bomodi na hwe HSTV nimia okay ewo so we be mu akonya asamu abeka HSTV abusha kese ho ni dwumadi enina onso wanya bi ahwe bonua bi an HSTV article amane won fast
You are so welcome back to Helping Morning here on HSTV, and that was a beautiful song from PCS and she titles this one Wayemi to With God Has Done Me Well, ushering us into the next segment of the show. And as of course we're going to start off with the front pages of some dailies, and then we get into other portals, and you're free to join the conversation by sending us what you think about any of them via our WhatsApp platform, where you have the numbers at the left hand side of your screen, or getting onto our YouTube page. We're live at HSTV GH Live. So we'll start off with the finder this morning. The banner headline says that 13 megawatt solar power commissioned, another 15 WM under construction, according to the president. And details of the story says that President Nana Dunkle Akufo-Addo commissioned 13 megawatt solar plant at Kalio in the Nadoli district of the Upper West region. And the £22.8 million solar plant of the Volta River Authority, which sits on 1961, when Ghana started commercial production of electricity. Almost all the generation assets except the Bui hydropower plant have been located in the middle and southern parts of the country. That the president indicated informed the government as part of our development trajectory to bring some of these sources closer to the northern part of Ghana to open up additional opportunities in that region's drive. So that's a short detail of the story, with the president commissioning that solar power plant in that region. And away from that, still on the finance, says that Nikki Dansoeji wins Shippers Authority Entrepreneur of the Year award, and it comes with a picture of him holding this award. And then government's transformational mining agenda to benefit all, according to the Deputy Lands Minister George Mrekuduka. And the last story on the front page of the Finder this morning says of the Minister for Lands and Natural
in Ghana. And coming down, we have another story that says, I will retain contest me, Ofosu Ampofu stated. And on the other side, we have, I will work hand in hand over, I will work hard to hand over to an Npp press in January 2025. That is the president of Ghana, Akufo-Addo, stated. So that's what we have on the daily, to hand over to an Npp.
Well, it all depends. It all depends on we the people who we are voting for. And especially when everything is crystal clear in our eyes and that loses and everything.
We have who we are going to vote
Let's
for.
Get into the custodian this morning. At the front page, the banner headline says that I have no preferred candidates, Akufo-Addo declares on the Npp Presidential Race, and it comes with about 9 of them. It comes with the pictures of the Vice President, Dr. Maudou Bawumia. It comes with Mr. Alan Chiomante. It comes with Mr. Kennedy Japon, a picture of Mr. Boachi Jako, and then Mr. Francis Adai, and then Mr. Jugati, Mr. Kwabena Japon, and then Dr. Afiye Akutu, and then Dr. Kofi Kunedu. And then we have President Commission's 13 megawatt Kali solar power project, and then the Northern Region NDC on fire, and the new mining agenda to provide wealth for all. And then we have a story here that is from the NLA replying to KKD that we have been fair to GTV. Page 3 has details of that paper on the front page of the Custodian.
All right, so moving away from the Custodian, we go straight to the Daily Guide, and we have on the top side of the paper saying gunshots at Tamale NDC office, and also Council of State summons Oforiatta Anderson over falling cedi and the economy. And also we have a government deploys Navy on Ankobra offense against Galamsey. And on the down part, we also have I'll be neutral in Npp press race, Akufo-Addo stated. So we saw that earlier on the other paper. Again, President tours Savannah region today.
Okay, so the Daily Searchlight says that Occupy Ghana Lands Ministry hold crunch meeting on release of public lands. Away from that, teacher unions concerned over 1-year extension of top GES staffer. It comes to the picture of the Minister for Education, and then for pricing in Ghana, some facts you need to know. Once you want to know that, you can grab that paper and get to page 9. You have details of that. And then it says that let's collaborate to build a robust mining sector, according to the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mrekuduka, to Ghana Mine Workers Union. And the last story here says that only half of 3,000 export companies in Ghana engage in significant trading, according to the Deputy Trade Minister as well.
All right, so let's do the chronicles, and on the front page we have I'm investing heavily in power transmission. That's what President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had to say. He said he's going to invest heavily when it comes to power transmission. And also La Bianca saga opens, can off warms customs. That's another story right there. And also we have police soldiers terrorizing residents of Dowenya in Central City. Shots at the NDC party office. We'll be giving full detail of that story when we're reading them out. And also we have
the Statesman, or the Informer. The banner headline says that NDC happy Ghana's current economic challenges, according to the president, who says he has observed that looking at the current economic challenges, NDC is rather happy about that. And then we have termination of contract. GTV showed disinterest, and NLA revealing that it comes to the picture of Sami Ewuku, who is the NLA boss. And then tax evasion and under declaration, Damwa and then Eduche again. It looks like the OSP has been working, and we have details of stories in there that will touch that is talking about the national security, enforcing security or beefing up security as regards to the works being carried out by the special prosecutor Kisi Jabin. And the last story on the Informer says that poor fiscal policies responsible for Ghana's current economic problems. So that's all.
Okay, and on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, it's rather unfortunate we have a sad story that says Ghana's childhood cancer ambassador dies. Well, and also here President Akufo-Addo is saying a seed capital for Agenda 111 release, various projects commence. That's what he had to say. And also a platoon of naval personnel deployed to fight galamseyers on Ankobra and Ofin rivers.
That's all.
Yeah. Okay, we have one here on the page 16. It says master plan develop, awaits cabinet's approval for implementation.
What's master plan again is being developed? Okay, let's get into the last front page of the dailies. It's the Daily Statesman, and it says that Akufo-Addo enskined chief of truth. We'll get into details of that story. And then GJ Ashanti unhappy with pleas over information release. OSP petition to include 2009 to 2015 in auction sales probe. Interesting. And the last story on the Daily Statesman says that big relief for 32,000 households. President's commissions Kalio solar power project. So that's all for the front pages of the Daily Dispatch. It's always interactive of the dailies here. So it's always interactive. You can send us your thoughts, comments about all that we've talked about via our WhatsApp platform. So we'll get into other portals now.
Yeah.
James, what do you have for us?
Okay, so Akufo-Addo enskined chief of truth at Damiefa Busi Isa. So Isa traditional area have on Tuesday 23rd August 2022 conferred the chieftaincy title of Yelemangana to with Chief of Truth on President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at a brief deba in Isa. So the conferral was done when President Addo visited the town to inspect the progress of work on the Agenda 111 hospital project in the Damiefa Busia Isa district as part of his 2-day tour of the Upper West region. According to the paramount chief of the area, Nayelingwa Balwile, the honor is a recognition of the extensive developmental project undertaken by the president since he assured office in 2017, which is an adherence to the promises made to the people of the area during electioneering campaign period. Addressing the gathering on the completed and ongoing project in the area, Nayelingwa Balwile said, "We requested that you hasten the process to upgrade the Isa Healthcare Center, which was then a CHPS compound, to a district hospital. It has been upgraded to the polyclinic status since 2019. So, Steph, okay, there's a continuation here. It says this is the first in the history of the district since its creation in 2012, as the district had neither a district hospital nor a polyclinic. Additionally, he said, you, President Akufo-Addo, promised to provide the Isa Youth Leadership Training Institute with a bus, and you did exactly that, and the school has now been upgraded into a technical institute under TVET. So this was happening in the
Interesting.
It's quite an interesting story right there.
Let's see. Okay, let's get into other stories where the national security is asking to support OSP to fight corruption. And you know how it is in almost all parts of the world where we are doing something right, a lot of people want to pull you down, the PhD people.
Yeah, pull him down.
It looks like national security asked to support OSP to fight corruption because he needs it. He cannot do the work alone. And looking at what Kenan retired Damwa was saying some time ago after his name appeared in the Labianca report of the corruption and corruption related offenses and all of that, saying that you cannot do this to me, you're a small boy, all of that. Just being termed as threats.
Threats to
so
it.
if there is security is not really beefed up with the special prosecutor, we may not hear good news. Even not just him, even his family. Because something my daddy keeps telling me that, or he told me growing up that never left me, was say yeah,
it's true. That was very deep.
Sometimes you really need, you need yourself to be protected. And national security acts to support OSP to fight corruption. It says that an economist, Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie, has called for a complete support for the Office of the Special Prosecutor in the fight against corruption. The lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School asked the national security and the media to support the OSP in doing so. He indicated that the Special Prosecutor Kisi Jabeng is doing something good and he should be resourced. He cannot do the work alone. Everybody should come on board. National security, media, everybody should come on board so that those who are under declaring will be caught and be prosecuted. The OSP has announced that it has commenced investigations in suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in respect of auctions of vehicles and other goods by the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority between July 1, 2016 and August 15, 2022. This was announced in a statement on the 22nd of August, Monday. The Special Prosecutor further directed the Commissioner of the Customs Division to immediately halt and discontinue all auction sales till the investigation is concluded. And this message to the Customs Division of GRE came with a presser that was issued on Monday, saying that he needed details of particulars and clear description of all auctioned items, and he also needed a quantity of all auctioned items, and then the prices in which the items were auctioned, the date of each auction sales, the full names, the addresses and telephone numbers of the successful bidders at all the auction sales. And the Special Prosecutor further directed the Commissioner of the Customs Division to immediately halt and discontinue all auction sales till the investigation is concluded. It looks like that arena of the government as an institution is on hot seat, especially when you're being, investigated and all that. Even yesterday, I was surfing the internet and I was seeing stories about some cargo trucks that came in that it looks like details, we didn't really have details, so it looks like Colonel Damaritad is again on the hot seat with Eduichi, who were all part of the La Bianca corruption-related offences, according to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So security is going to be beefed up around him and all of that to help him to be able to freely flow in his line of work. So that's it for that story.
All right, so we'll continue on. Akufo-Addo cautions NDC not to celebrate because of current crisis. And in detail, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has noted that some opponents are celebrating already as a result of the current economic hardship facing the country. He pointed out that some of these opponents, especially elements in the National Democratic Congress NDC, are of conviction that the government cannot steer the countries out of the crisis. But the president said this is similar to how those same elements wrote him off before he became president in 2016 and got re-elected in 2022. He further stated that, "I know that there are people, especially the NDC, who have begun to celebrate already because of the difficulties of the country." He said in an interview on Nandom FM on Monday, and he stated, "One swallow does not make a summer. Tell them they shouldn't hesitate. They have been writing me off all my political career. I could never make it. I couldn't win. I have won twice and I'm going to win again for the party in December 2024. President Akufo-Addo, who is on a working visit to the Upper Eastern region, said his desire is to ensure that the handover leadership of the country is going to happen to the NPP. He's going to hand over to NPP in December 2025. Steph, so that's quite an interesting story right there. Indeed. Already the opponents are, celebrating over, saying they're going to win amidst the crisis happening and all of that. So that's what he had to say on Nandom FM.
But it should be easy. He's getting out of office and he's not going to contest again the election. So it's like cry or cry.
He still wants it to go in there.
You still want to really have an NPP person be our next leader.
That's the
vision. It's not up to him as a president to decide that. It's up to us, the Ghanaians, the citizens,
going to decide.
And of course, 2024, we are going to decide that.
Right.
I just
the way that they make,
because my mom told me some time ago that with the difficulty in the economy and all of that, when it's more like 3 months, 6 months, for something she's saying, she's grown. So she's saying over the years that when it's like 3 months to elections, a year to elections, you see they would be pumping money
into the system
and doing things that we've been calling for so many years.
Sword and
then you realize that Ghanaians with short memories, it just, you know,
we forget about everything.
It raises everything, and then we're like tooting for them.
Well,
let's see how it goes. Let's get into other stories as regards to the city depreciation. And upon Nkrumah, the Minister for Information, has a message for Ghanaians. It says that if I were you holding on to dollars, I will be selling by now because a lot of dollars is coming in. Details of the story says that Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has said a lot of dollars is coming in to shore up the strength of the local currency, the cedi. So it looks like we are going to arrest the cedi again. The Fuasia UAB lawmaker said the $750 million Afrexim Bank loan, and then from the cocoa $1.3 billion syndicated loan that comes together like the $2 billion will be hitting the Ghanaian economy soon. He says in quotes that external factors such as the repatriation of funds have led to a cedi that has depreciated very quickly. The Bank of Ghana introduced a raft of measures to deal with the depreciation of the cedi. And I think this morning, the president was briefed that the $750 million that we were expecting, now all the paperwork has been completed and should hit our accounts by Tuesday or Wednesday. So if I were you and I was holding on to dollars, I will be selling by now because there is a lot of dollar coming in from the $750 million and then from the cocoa $1.3 billion syndicated loan that comes together like the $2 billion hitting the Ghanaian economy. We need to cut down on our import bills significantly. We are importing rice, we are importing chicken, we are importing fruit juices. There needs to be clarity on what we need to do as regards to that. So regarding the cedi's performance, the Bank of Ghana in a statement called for a calm as it has introduced measures to resolve the fall. The BOG identified 5 key reasons for the woes of the local currency. These are the strength of the US dollar, investor reaction to credit ratings downgrade, non-rollover of maturing bonds, and the sharp rise in crude oil prices and impact of the oil bill and loss of external finances. And even yesterday I realized that the bonds are not performing so well. And then it says that gold purchase program to increase foreign exchange reserves and special foreign exchange auction for the bulk distribution companies to help with the importation of petroleum products. And the Bank of Ghana is entering into a cooperation agreement with the mining companies to provide BOG with the opportunity to buy gold as when it becomes available. The Bank of Ghana is supporting the banking sector with foreign currency liquidity to help meet the demand for external payments. So the recently approved $750 million Afrexim loan facility by Parliament, once disbursed, will boost the foreign exchange possibly of the country and then help restore our confidence. So it says finally that the cocoa loan is expected in the last quarter of the year. And this facility will also help provide more foreign currency to help address the cedi depreciation. In a short term, we expect that when the IMF program is finalized, it will also go a long way to help restore confidence in the economy and drive portfolio flows. There's a message from the Minister for Information that if he were you and then you are holding on to dollars as of now, you should start selling that because it's going to be arrested very soon because of the loans and all of that. The paperwork have been finally completed and then our monies are going to hit into the Ghanaian accounts by today, at the end of today. So it's going to rise the cedi for us. So ukita dollars are any cotton. But there was something you mentioned about the IMF, and I think we have a story to get that out once you
still on Kojo Nkrumah
about the Ghana's debt distress
challenge. I have it here. All right, so moving to that story, Ghana's deep debt distress challenge effectiveness of IMF program. The unsustainable level of Ghana's debt is likely to challenge the effectiveness of an IMF supported program, says Professor Godfred Bokping. According to the economist and finance lecturer with the University of Ghana Business School, any IMF lending program given given the country's unsustainable debt level as dwarfed and may require the addition of a debt restructuring arrangements by the government. So Ghana has breached a sustainable debt level that challenges the effectiveness of an IMF-supported program. Under such circumstance, IMF lending is dwarfed, and that would require the government to trigger a debt restructuring arrangement with investors that may entail investors taking some haircut to fit into an IMF lending framework. Under the current fiscal measures as announced by the government, a high risk exists that the debt to GDP ratio would steadily increase, further unsettling investors. The primary budget balanced real interest rate and the real rate of economic growth under the existing recent measure, coupled with a recent depreciation of the cedi's lend to debt on sustainability. A sustained aggressive front-loaded fiscal adjustment, in addition to the monetary policy reform and sector-specific interventions, are needed going forward, noted, said Prof. Bokpin. So Prof. Bokpin made the assertion speaking during the webinar themed Drivers of Ghana's Debt and Implication on the Economic and on Ghanaian Economy on Tuesday, August 23rd. I think that falls in line with
Kojo Ponkrumah
had to say,
by the end of today, 25th of August 2022. Let's still stay on business and let's hear what the butchers have to say, lamenting over the cedi depreciation and saying that they are facing problems with their businesses. So the story says that butchers at Malamata markets have lamented the depreciating value of the cedi. This follows the cedi's recent sharp decline after it was pegged at 10 cedis to $. The butchers complained that the current challenges with the depreciating cedi have been crippling their businesses and increasing the cost of importing livestock from Burkina Faso and other countries. Quoting that, in Ghana, we do not have cows. How many cows do we have here in Ghana? We import them from Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, and Togo. So we change the cedi into CFA franc anytime the CFA rises. The butchers called on the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, to address the depreciating value of the cedi or resign. It says that now, if you have 10,000 Ghana cedis and you are doing business by 2 months' time, it will depreciate at about 8,000 or 8,500 cedis. The cedi doesn't stand at one place. That is our main problem. In a related development, members of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, say they will close all their shops to demonstrate against the persistent depreciation of the Ghana cedi coming next Monday, 29th of August. According to them, the rapid fall of the cedi is having a negative impact on their businesses, hence their decision to stage that protest. Addressing the press conference on Monday, the president of the association, Mr. Joseph Obeng, stressed that the worsening state of the cedi has eroded the gains of businesses after the COVID-19 pandemic and the shocks from the Russia-Ukraine war. He therefore called on the government to prioritize the trading community as GUTA prepares to embark on its 29th August protest. It says in quotes, finally, that by the dictates of the trading community, we declare closure of shops in Accra on 29th of August 2022 to officially demonstrate these concerns to government, Mr. Obeng said, amidst cheers from other aggrieved members. And when I take a look, it looks like the protest keeps coming because we'll get into the story of the nurses who picketed yesterday at the Ministry of Finance, saying that they are also preparing to demonstrate or preparing for a protest. Now, GUTA members are saying that they are preparing for a protest. The NAPCO trainees are also saying they are preparing for a protest and all of that. So if this is the language that leaders understand,
I think and even with regards to demonstration and people penetrating into governmental office, we have Doma West also, irate youth, they set the Forestry Commission on fire. So let's read that story. So we're going straight to the Western region. That's Doma West. Irate youth sets Forestry Commission office on fire. In details, it says some irate youth of Diaba in the Doma West district of the Bono region have set a military base and an office of the Forestry Commission in the area ablaze. Further, it says this comes after officials of the commission cut down about 20 plantain crops that had been grown in the forest reserve by farmers in the community. So speaking to City News on the incident, the chairman of the Bono Regional Security Council, Justina Owusu Banahene, says there is an engagement with the traditional authorities in Diaba to ensure the offenders are arrested. She stated people have farmed within the reserve and some we have questioned the authority with which they are using the forest. The people placed lorry tires on the road so that when the forest office gets there, they will be blocked from entering. By the time the police got there, they had set the forestry office ablaze and raised the office. That's what she had to say on City FM. So you see how people are, will I say, they are really coming at the government. The least thing
eager and getting what
they want.
But
exactly.
the problem is,
the approach
they
use is quite disturbing.
The violent way, very disturbing, and it looks like it's been passed on to even younger siblings in the tertiary institutions. Look at what is happening.
Yeah.
Just take a look at what is happening. Now your whole celebrations and then your SRC celebrations have been suspended because of the distraction that the chaos that you have brought about on campuses. People will not really feel safe anymore. A lot of people would want to go home. If I have a brother or sister, I'll tell you to come home for some time. Because it doesn't really look safe on campuses anymore, and you end up destroying facilities,
properties. That's what I was saying,
and it boils down to the monies that you need to fix your problems. That is the same money government is going to use to fix all of the mess that you have created. So it's good to lament. It's good to open up and air out your grievances, but the approach should always be a legal one, an appropriate one. You get to them and then you petition before them and all of that. It's communication.
So we should communicate. The youth out there, if we have problems with the government or people, at the higher level, we should communicate to them. Go there. There's a legal way of doing that.
Yes,
exactly.
It doesn't mean you all vamut from one premise and then you
go
get
there and destroy properties as well.
Destroy
it's
lives and all. It doesn't add up. Exactly. It's not a nice thing to do. So know how you approach these issues. I know it's tormenting. Waking up in the morning and you're frustrated. You don't know what to do. When you hear some of the NAPO trainees, they've sent their families. Even look at those who are the toll booths. Look at how some of them were complaining about finances, saying that they've even sent their wives and kids to the villages. How is life in the villages anyway? How is life in the village? But it's not their fault. They don't know how to hold themselves up. They have to let go of their loved ones, people they really need around them. And grievances is not their work. But know how you go about it. Know how you communicate to them. The approach should just be the best way. That is when I believe government is going to listen. Pelting stones, pelting stuff, setting offices ablaze and all of that. It doesn't do us any good. But still on the current economic challenges, Yvonne Nelson has been speaking and tweeting, and she says that we won't sit and watch you play with our future, Mr. President. We are not going to sit down and watch you play with our future.
Let's see what's she saying.
Yeah, she's saying that she's actually on the ranting spree as she has taken to the Twitter and social media platform to lament the rising cost of living in the country and the government's seeming unperturbed posture to change the narrative. It looks like they are not bothered. According to her, they are not upset
at all.
The actress, in a series of tweets, condemned the government for what she described as failure on its part to deliver on the juicy promises made to Ghanaian people during the campaign period. According to her, the New Patriotic Party and its then presidential candidate, Akufo-Addo, deceived Ghanaians with promises, and it is evident that they care not about the economic situation in the country after their mandate was renewed. Tweeting at President Dunkle Akufo-Addo, the filmmaker maintained that the public will not sit aloof while the president and his government take the country for granted. She poses a question that deceiving us, my generation, we won't sit watch you guys play with our future and that of our kids. Ghanaians deserve better, and that is what one of the tweets read. Another says that one thing about this government, they don't care, but they care about power and the prestige that comes with it. We will start making you all care. Another tweet read. She also took a dig at the government for failing to be accountable, and she posted a lot of them, but she tweeted a lot of them. One says that I bought gas yesterday for 210 Ghana cedis. This is where we are now. Hashtag poor leadership. Another says that accountability is owning what you say you are going to do. As we all can see, Mr. President, you just told us a nonsense by the far side. So another says that we are fed up with this hardship. Very obvious this government has gotten all it wanted and is ignoring the people, that's Ghanaians. Another tweet also says that one thing about this government, they don't care, but they care about the power and prestige that comes with it. We will start making you all care very soon. Your campaign promises all are a nonsense, Mr. President. Deceiving us, my generation, we won't sit and watch you guys play with our future and that of our kids. Ghanaians deserve better. The story continues to say that it is quite unclear what Yvonne Nelson intends doing, but the actress is in the history books to have organized a successful Dunkle Must Stop vigil in 2015 to put pressure on the John Mahama government to resolve the 3-year power crisis. I remember that very well when she was on the Dunkle Must Stop with Saudi and some other.
We had a lot of people joining, Efia, Nocturnal.
Yeah, so she was actually part of those people that crusaded that agenda. And the story continues to say that Ghana's economic situation continues to worsen. Prices of goods and services keep increasing astronomically amid calls for the resignation of Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Some have also urged the president to reshuffle his ministers, but to no avail, because the president clearly said that people calling for a reshuffle of his cabinet members are from the NDC. After the electronic transactions levy introduced by government to generate additional revenue raked in only 10% of estimated revenue, the government backtracked its decision to never go back to the IMF for a bailout. But what did we see? They have really gone for a bailout, and they even told us 1.5 billion. Now we are hearing a double of that amount, and it comes to terms and conditions. Do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. So that's it. Those are what Yvonne Nelson has been tweeting about in recent times, expressing her dissatisfaction and how the government has been very inefficient and unproductive in, fulfilling its promises, part of its manifesto. Okay.
All right, so quickly let's move to the Ashanti region. 5 arrested for Galamsey activities in Bosomtwe Range Forest Reserve. And in detail, it says the Forestry Commission, with support from its task force and the military, has arrested 5 Galamsey operators in the Bosomtwe Range Forest Reserve in Bekwai Forest District of the Ashanti region. The suspects were arraigned before the Bekwai circuits, but a couple of them have been granted bail at the moment. Despite the ban on illegal mining in the country in the forest reserve and on water bodies, these illegal miners or Galamsey operators defied President Ado Dankwe's order and took hold of the Bosomtwe Range Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region. And it says, sources say after storming most of the mining communities with the Bekwai Forest District, the task force established that there are illegal mining activities that have caused total destruction to the environment and also posing a threat to the forest reserve. Hundreds of Galamsey operators have invaded the Bosomtwe Range Forest Reserve in a way that's left the Forestry Commission official bemused. So 5 Galamsey operators were subsequently arrested in the operation that involved officials from the Commission, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and the Ghana Armed Force.
I see.
So
the issue with Galamsey, George Mekuduge, the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, has been working and he's been talking about it. And we even saw how there was some burning of some 83 machines there, and it's just destroying and polluting water bodies. I really don't understand. Do they really have any conscience? Like, do they feel guilty when they pollute water bodies of people, especially the rural areas where they can't even afford potable water. And then the little river that is flowing down,
they're mining and doing
that, they're just polluting here and there. Well,
it's it's a two-way thing. Looking at the economic hardship, they're also trying to find something they could, but there's a legal way of doing it. And
we know economic crisis is everywhere, but what you are doing once is illegal. You police the waters, and these are streams that lives and livestock even feed on.
Exactly.
So once you pollute, they really don't know what to follow. Now they are telling us the rainwater gives cancer.
How much more the ones we have?
So if you are polluting the water bodies, then they have no option than to feed on the rainwater.
The rainwater.
And look at how healthy. How much will it weigh? I don't quite say cancer.
Cancer, okay,
they said it's good for high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, BP. Kokonte. Sometimes 1 or 2, but it's my dad's favorite though.
Oh, I see. I think my dad likes that too.
He does himself. No, but swallowing it is like a whole thing for me. So I'll choose Banco over Kokonte any day.
Yeah, any day. Diego will get it.
Yeah.
Because it's his favorite.
Oh my.
Let's get into other stories where there are nurses who picketed yesterday at the Ministry of Finance in Accra, and their story is simple. They're saying that no hospital wants to employ them despite financial clearance from the government. Let's get into stories. It says that some irate nurses have picketed at the Ministry of Finance in Accra after complaining about failure by many hospitals to employ them despite they getting financial clearance from the government. The nurses are accusing the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association of failing to get government to get the hospitals to employ them. Numbering up over 50, the community nurses and nurse assistant clinicians stormed the offices of the Finance Ministry yesterday. They insist that they will not turn to their various homes if they are not posted by the close of that day. According to them, many moved in the past to embark on protests to make their concerns known is suppressed, with assurances given that they will be posted, but they say they are fed up with them. Most of the time they tell us to pray, said Rose Edujefi, a member of the protesting nurses, and meanwhile the Ministry of Finance has issued this clearance to us. She said they have been home without any improvement, no progressing. If this is not a clearance, the Ministry of Finance should come and tell us. We are fed up with them. I don't know if you have a video to that effect about the nurses picketing yesterday at the Ministry of Finance. Once we do have the video, we can take a look and get back and discuss other stories.
At the end of the day, you will tell me to wait, exercise patience for 8 good months. Are you turning me against my dad? What is the meaning of this? Please, we want the Ministry of Finance to tell us something today, or else we will sleep here. We are fed up with them, oh. We are fed up. My papa Uncle Chaba, my father is a distiller. A Paman Tapa. Uncle Chaba information me. At the end of the day, you will tell me to wait, exercise patience for 8 good months. Are you turning me against my dad? Most of the time, they tell us to pray. What is this? Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance has issued this clearance, this financial clearance to us. The same clearance that gave the opportunity to the degrees. The same clearance that gave the same opportunity to the diplomas. Now we are here. The same clearance that was also issued to us. We are here without anything. No improvements, no progression. We are still in the house. What is the meaning of this? If this is not a clearance, the Ministry of Finance should come and tell us. We are fed up with them, oh. We are fed up. My papa Uncle Chaba, my father is a distiller. A Paman Tapa. Uncle Chaba information me. At the end of the day, you will tell me to wait, exercise patience for 8 good months. Are you turning me against my dad? What is the meaning of this? Please, we want the Ministry of Finance to tell us something today, or else we will sleep here.
Yeah, James, it's heartbreaking when I see videos like this of a lot of people, airing out their grievances about finances and all of that. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm sure it will leave them with regret into me koyanas and the and I do mana me question and said that it was a good decision I made. And this is where comparison comes in. You look at people who are rather doing things that are illegal and are making it, and then you start feeling, you start regretting if you should fall on that or still keep having faith in God. Because clearly they're asking them to pray.
Go and pray.
But we know when prayer comes in. I can't go to school, I'm supposed to be out, I'm out.
Yeah.
I pass out successfully, I'm supposed to be posted so that I can take care of myself and even my family. But now she's saying her father is a Paman Tapa. How will he take care of her lady at her age?
Looking at the line of stories coming through this week and the past week, is all being violence, people demonstrating, sharing their grievances you made mention. And I believe and I think the government should quicken and head to their voice, listen to what they are saying, and something should be done about it. So moving away from that story, let's go straight to the northern region. Unknown persons damaged property at the NDC Northern Regional office. And the story in detail says some unknown persons have fired gunshots and damaged properties at the Northern Regional Office of the National Democratic Congress, that's NDC. Information available indicates that the attack on the office is due to appointment of the Vice Chair, Adolf Ali, as the acting regional chairman of the party until a substantive chairman is elected. The regional secretary of the party, Mohammed Abdul Salam, has been speaking to City News on the incident. He says the attackers ransacked the office in the chairman's absence, took his laptop that we have been working with and other receipts of the chairman's funeral we organized. What happened was criminal, so we are dealing with that. Further, it says the administrative level of the party, if anyone is aggrieved with a decision, the constitution says that you use the administrative processes to appeal to the office of the general secretary. You do not send a bandit to put the party's name into disrepute. That in itself is a violation of the party's rule. The incident follows the death of the party's regional chairman, Chief Alhaji Ibrahim Mobila. So as made mention right here, if you want to demonstrate, if you are aggrieved or something, you should use the legal way. We have administrative head, we have people, and just appeal or send in a legal document that this is what is happening, this is what we are trying to send out there. So please listen to us instead of badging into official offices trying to destroy properties with gunshots. It's not allowed. It's not really appropriate.
It's uncalled for. Okay, away from that, the National Folklore Board director has been speaking, and she insists that we as a country are not ready and we do not want to lose our heritage and our culture. So it says that executive director of the Ghana National Folklore Board, Ms. Bernice Dekuma, says it is imperative to protect culture and heritage in Ghana. She also assured of the board's determination to preserve Ghana's heritage through folklore. She made the revelation at the 2022 World Folklore Day held at the National Theatre on Monday, August 22. The day was held with a summit themed Igniting the Interest of African Youth in Folklore for Sustainable Development. According to Ms. Dekuma, the National Folklore Board's decision to hold the event on such a significant day aims at educating the youth while fostering plans to protect the culture and heritage of Ghana and Africa as a whole. The summit was graced by representatives from Namibia, from Gambia and Togo, who share similar cultural heritage with Ghana. She says in quotes that we intend to have our intangible cultural heritage come out with a national register and eventually onto a world register. We want to see how best we can all collaborate to have our intangible cultural heritage listed on the World Heritage Register, according to the executive director. Ms. Dekuma further noted the dangers associated with neglecting the board's mandate. She again says in quotes that we will eventually lose our heritage and our culture if we don't want to lose it, she insisted. While sharing the relevance of involving the youth in this year's World Folklore Celebration, she intimated that we cannot do it without the youth, because whatever we want to do, we have to pass it on to the youth so that they can take over from us. The summit was graced by the Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mark Okrakumante, was also attended by students from St. Aquinas Senior High School, Accra Girls Senior High School, Laboni Senior High School, and the University of Ghana, I believe some students as well. So that is a brief message from the National Folklore Board, Mrs. Bernice Dekuma, saying that we need to involve the youth, especially because definitely you pass on to that. Imagine doing this kind of, or holding this kind of summits, educating, briefing older people about it. Once they leave, what's passed on to the youth? So we definitely need to pass on to the youth by involving them in these summits and all of that. That's why I believe there were students from the St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High School, Accra Girls, Laboni, and so on.
All right, so moving away from that story, go straight into education. WAEC introduces additional padlocks to enhance WASI security. The West African Examination Council continues to enhance the security and sanctity of its examinations to make them to make them more practice-free. So currently, the West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, that's WASSCE, is ongoing, which started on Monday, August 1st. So addressing journalists on Monday, August 22nd, the conduct of the exam so far, the head of public affairs of the council, Agnes Tay Kujo, said additional depots will be set up for very confidential materials to ensure the sanctity of the question papers packs. Aside the number combination padlocks will be added to the ordinary padlocks, and the codes will only be released a few minutes to dispatch. The council has put in place a number of measures to guarantee test security, she said. These include a collaboration with the National Intelligence Bureau, NIB, to monitor the printing of question papers, working closely with a number of security agencies to track and arrest dealers and operators of rogue websites, inspection of all depots nationwide, and depots that needed further fortification have been duly attended to. So serialization of some question papers, movement of question papers from strong rooms to depots in batches, creation of additional depots for the storage of confidential materials to ensure that the depots are located close to schools to prevent the situation where school starts late or question papers are released to them early. Use of number combination padlocks in addition to ordinary padlocks for all security bags containing question papers, packets, and these combination padlocks, you cannot open them unless the codes are sent to the depot keepers. So this is coming from the Ministry of Education. So they are going to add more enforcement and security padlocks to not the usual.
I'm just trying to compare this these actions from WAEC and look at what students had to say some time ago that was recorded in the news. They said they have a pen. The ink is invisible, and then the pen. So they write that on the mat set, papers in there. So they use that invisible ink pen to write the answers in there, and then they get into the exam hall with a UV light, which also comes like a pen. So you are thinking, you as an invigilator, you're thinking it's a pen. They walk into the examination hall, and then they switch on that UV light, and then because it's an invisible ink written, then they use that. And I don't see how that technology thing, comparing that to padlocks and storage buildings and all of that. I'm trying to see who can outsmart who. You get it? And even that student in the news, that student was like, it's easy, right? There's a technology, a dream. And they just said, so I'm expecting that they beef up their actions as well, to be able to, limit the records of examination malpractice. But padlock there.
So this is what they had to say.
I'm just trying to, I'm wrapping my mind around the whole issue. See how it can work out. Well, I'm sure they've also tested everything, and they've tested, and
maybe that's what's going to help.
Ways out how to maneuver themselves with that strategy. So let's see, once that strategy is employed, let's see how it goes. But all the best to WAEC as well, and all the best to students who are still writing WASSCE. Okay, let's talk about Andrew Dunkle, the late Andrew Dunkle, who was slain about 4 months ago in the Elembela district. And it looks like the family of Andrew Dunkle are rejecting attempts to tag him as an illegal minor because there are stories emanating that says that he was an illegal minor. And the family of Andrew Dunkle is rejecting that claim because they believe that that boy of theirs died and uncalled for death, and in as much as it hurts them, they are taking everything in peace. So they expected that they be allowed to be able to mourn the loss of their beloved. However, or because of that, they actually rejecting attempts to tag him as an illegal minor. So the story says that the family of 35-year-old Andrew Dunkle, who was shot dead on the 1st of April 2022 by security personnel at the premises of the Nkrofo Magistrate Court in the Elembela district, has condemned attempts by some persons to tag him as an illegal minor. Addressing the press conference at Teleku Bozazo on behalf of the family, the elder brother of the late Dunkle, Thomas Nyameke Dunkle, said the Elembela NPP constituency in their recent press conference wrongly tagged the late Andrew Dunkle as an illegal minor and a router. So the family says in quote that the family of Andrew Dunkle is mourning our beloved brother, and we expected calm to prevail to make the soul of our beloved son and brother rest in peace. We are fully aware that our brother was a polling station executive for the NPP, so the least to be expected from his own political party is to unfortunately play politics with his death. We respectfully but seriously ask the NPP in Elembele constituency to desist from such an act, as it amounts to putting the name of our beloved brother into disrepute. Andrew Dunkle is not an illegal miner and was never involved in any riots as purported by the Elembele NPP executives. He was just an observer who was nowhere near the crowd, which witnesses can confirm to that. The Dunkle family is not associated with any political party. From the day our beloved Andrew Dunkle died till the day he was buried, no NPP executive or member has ever visited the family. Neither the DCE nor Elembele NPP has reached out to the family to offer any support. So it was strange to us that they sit on TV to tell a lie that they are fighting for compensation for the family. If they, the NPP, claim Andy is their polling station executive, then the question is that how they treat their own? The family of the late Dunkle commended the decision by MP for Elembele to go to court to seek justice for the late Dunkle and encourage others to do same in collaboration with the family. The Dunkle family expressed profound gratitude to Honorable Amakofi Dia for fighting with them since day one, from petitioning Strach and subsequently filing the case in court. As a family, they wish to give their support and prayer to Honorable Mabua in his pursuit for justice for their brother Andrew Dunkle. If any group thinks that they are pursuing their matter, let them do it through the family rather than organizing causeless and ridiculous press conferences without the family's approval. Any other press conference held in the name of Andrew Dunkle without prior knowledge of the family will invoke the wrath. The mother of the late Dunkle, Sabina Dunkle, on her part reiterated calls for stakeholders indicated in the matter to support the children of the slain Andrew Dunkle. So those are the comments and caution from the family of Andrew Dunkle, who was slain about 4 months ago. He was a polling station executive for the NPP, and I'm just surprised that the family is saying that no NPP executive was there to, offer support to the family of the late Andrew Dunkle. Not a nice thing to hear. At all. Not a nice thing to hear. Then now you go back to TV and say that he was a member or he was an illegal miner, he was a router and all of that. Well, there's a saying that you never have to say anything about the dead because they do not have the chance to defend themselves. So you never ever speak evil of the dead. There's a proverb like that. I don't know where it's coming from, even if it's coming from Ghana. I know there's a proverb that says I never speak ill of the dead because not because they will hunt you or people, superstitiously believe that, but just because they don't have or they are not present to defend themselves. So who is telling the truth? Who is telling the lies? So that's it. Of course, Andrew isn't allowed to say that, I wasn't an illegal miner, I wasn't a router. But once it's dead, let the dead be dead. Yeah. So I think it's a rough matters arising. But you can tell us what you think about all we've talked about via our YouTube page. We are live at YouTube on HSTVG Live, and we're also active on our WhatsApp platform. We have the numbers at the left-hand side of your screen. So it's a wrap.
It's a wrap here on Matters Arising. So Precious Azuma is standing by with what's happening in the world of sports. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Is Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Lashibe Funeral Homes. Lashibe Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Lashibe Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all times, to emphasize the importance of treating the body of the deceased with the utmost respect and dignity. Lashibe Funeral Homes provides any and all services that have to do with funerals. Lashibe Funeral Homes will recover the body from wherever the death occurred, embalm the body using the most modern techniques. We will keep the body or store the body in our state-of-the-art refrigeration system for as long as the family desires. Nearer the time of the funeral, we will prepare and dress the body up for the funeral. We provide transportation, namely ambulances and hearses, to convey the body from one place to the other as the family may wish. We also provide on our premises the services of an interdenominational chapel where the services can be conducted. We also have the only modern crematory in Ghana at the moment, which services not only Ghana but also Côte d'Ivoire. We also have a cemetery, one of the only two privately managed cemeteries in Accra at the moment. All it takes, literally, is one telephone call and perhaps 2 visits to our premises for everything to do with the funeral to be arranged for. There are several funeral plans on the market. Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its own and is significantly different, because what the Prudential Dignity Plan ensures are the services that will be required, so that it does not matter whether 5 years or 10 years after the insurance was taken, those services will be provided regardless of the fact that the costs may have gone up. Once you are insured, your services are covered. It doesn't matter how long before the death occurs.
Dignity Farewell Plan from Prudential Life Insurance, in partnership with Lashibe Funeral Homes, is providing families with over a decade of experience and peace of mind when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved ones.
This is HST, grateful for your time. Training, training, training. Are you creative? Are you willing to learn? Are you interested in the media? Well, HSTV has an opportunity for you. Get training in camera handling, video editing, motion graphics, program presenting, MCR, sound engineering, news reporting, and casting.
In Accra to speak to some commercial drivers.
Why don't you call these numbers 054 6833 724 or 0240 300 507.
Welcome back, and it's time for Sports and Minutes Live on HSTV. My name is Precious Azuma, and starting off with the stories, former Minister of Youth and Sports under the John Mahama administration, he goes by the name Elvis Free Ankra, is calling for a reduction in the appearance fee paid to the Black Stars when they play in the World Cup tournament. Ghana has paid appearances fee to the Black Stars at major tournaments dating back to when the country first qualified for the World Cup in Germany 2006. During the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, players of the senior national team boycotted training and threatened not to play the final group match against Portugal if the appearances fee was not fully paid. Speaking in an interview on Live FM in Kumasi, the former sports minister said there's the need to draw a balance between rewarding and compensating players at tournaments. He stressed that a huge appearance fee paid to players need to be reviewed downwards. Moving on into the camp of Accra Hearts of Oak, their board member Vincent Soa has reacted to accusations made by Konadu Yiadom's agent on his transfer to the club. Joe Abu Salem, the agent of Konadu Yiadom, is alleging that Hearts of Oak have failed to honor their part of the agreement in the transfer deal for Konadu Yiadom. According to reports that is actually coming, Kumasi Asante Kotoko was ready to offer about $50,000 to sign a centre back, but was rejected by Joe Abu Salem because of loyalty and earlier agreeing in principle to transfer the player to Hearts of Oak. Abu Salem confirmed in an interview on Accra-based radio station Asempa FM that he regrets not taking the offer from Kumasi Asante Kotoko, as reports have emerged that Accra Hearts of Oak are yet to pay Konadu Yiadom's transfer fee. Hearts of Oak board member Vincent Soa reacted to the claims made by Joe Abu Salem and stated they will not be blackmailed. And I went to the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko yesterday. They played against Sudanese side giant Al Hilal, and unfortunately for them, they lost. Actually, Al Hilal scored in each half to defeat Kotoko, who are in Sudan preparing for the 2022-23 season. So it's quite unfortunate that Kotoko actually lost this particular game to the Sudanese side, Al Hilal, by 2-0. Now let's do some European stories. And West Ham have signed left-back Emerson Palmieri from Chelsea in a deal understood to be worth about €15 million. The 28-year-old Italy international has joined the Hammers on a 4-year contract with a 1-year option for about €30 million plus €2 million in addition. So he stated after his signing that, "I can't wait to get started in a West Ham shirt. I'm very happy to be here and to arrive here. It's a big challenge for me. It's a big team. So I'm very happy to be here and I'm ready for the team." Moving on into the Women's League, Manchester City and England midfielder Jill Scott has announced her retirement from football. The 35-year-old played in the 10 major tournaments, including 2 Olympics with Great Britain, and helped England win Euro 2022. Scott made her England debut in 2006 and is second on their all-time list of most scout players with about 161. She began her career with hometown club Sunderland and played for Everton before joining City in November 2013. So she actually stated that, "I'm so in love with the game." This is what actually thing I have been ever thinking of and been doing since kicking a ball at the age of 5. I will forever be in love with football. She added, if I could say one thing to football, it would be just a massive thank you. It's been the biggest part of my life. Now let's wrap up with tennis. And a fan of Nick Kyrgios actually said was drunk out of her mind during Wimbledon final is taking legal action against the Australian tennis player. Kyrgios, who lost the final to Novak Djokovic in July, said the woman looked like she has had about 700 drinks as he complained to the umpire about her. Palos has now instructed solicitors to bring a defamation proceeding against Kyrgios. So she accuses Kyrgios of a reckless and entirely baseless accusations. This is why I draw the curtain so soon on Sports a Minute Live on HSTV. Still held in morning. My name once again is Precious Asma. Do stay with us.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money, or a good education for your children? The Pro Wealth Plan answers all of life's questions. This is Ekwa 9. She wants to be an engineer in future. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pro Wealth Plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the sum assured, which is 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100% at maturity for her chosen university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed Ekwa's education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pro Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers, 24,000 employees globally, and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pro Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Lashibe Funeral Homes. Lashibe Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Lashibe Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all time, to emphasize the importance of treating